In the pages of history, one story stands out as a testament to the power of faith and belief, the unwavering trust in divine guidance. Welcome to our biblical reflection on the timeless story of Joshua and the Walls of Jericho, a story rich in lessons and inspiration for us all. Now, after Moses died, Joshua was left to guide the Israelites, but his path was not going to be without obstacles. He was faced with a challenge, which was the Wall of Jericho. In Joshua 1:5, God told Joshua, "No one will be able to stand against you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you." Joshua was not alone. He had God on his side, and God assured him of victory. Everyone has a Jericho in their life. It can be fear, addiction, unforgiving, anything that is difficult for you. But God has assured you to be by your side and break those walls if you believe in Him. Today, I will cover 7 lessons we learn from the story of Joshua that can help you conquer your Jericho. Lesson 1. Having faith in God's promises. In Joshua chapter 6 verse 2-5, it reads that, "Then the Lord said to Joshua, 'See, I have delivered Jericho into your hands, along with its king and its fighting men. March around the city once with all the armed men. Do this for 6 days. Have 7 priests carry trumpets of ram's horn in front of the ark. On the 7th day, march around the city 7 times with the priests blowing the trumpet.'" We see that faith in God's promises, even when faced with seemingly insurmountable obstacles, leads to victory. Joshua's unwavering faith in God's plan led them to victory. Despite the seemingly impossible task of conquering Jericho and its fortified walls, Joshua follows God's instructions faithfully. This teaches us the importance of having faith in God's promises even when circumstances appear insurmountable. Lesson 2 is God's faithfulness. In Joshua chapter 21 verse 45, it declares, "Not one of all the Lord's good promises to Israel failed. Everyone was fulfilled." In this lesson, we learn that through Joshua and the walls of Jericho, we see God's faithfulness to His people, reminding us to trust in His promises. God remains faithful to His promises and provides for His people's needs in miraculous ways. Thirdly, we are going to look at obedience to divine instructions. In Joshua chapter 6 verse 3-5, the Lord said to Joshua, "March around the city once with all the armed men. Do this for 6 days. Have 7 priests carry trumpets of ram's horn in front of the ark. On the 7th day, march around the city 7 times, with the priests blowing the trumpets." We see that obedience to God's commands, even when they seem unconventional, brings about miraculous results. Even Abraham obeyed God when he was told to leave his country. In Genesis chapter 12 verse 1, the Lord said to Abraham, "Go from your country, your people, your father's household, to the land I will show you." You may not understand God's plan, but He is always on your side. Their willingness to follow God's commands without question demonstrates the importance of obedience in achieving success. This teaches us that obedience to God's word is crucial for experiencing His blessings and overcoming obstacles in our lives. The 4th lesson is perseverance in the face of resistance. In Joshua chapter 6 verse 10, it reads, "But Joshua had commanded the army, 'Do not give a war cry. Do not raise your voices. Do not say a word until the day I tell you to shout. Then shout.'" We learn that perseverance and steadfastness in following God's plan despite opposition leads to ultimate triumph. Something else we also get to learn is about God's timing. In Joshua chapter 6 verse 15-16, it reads, "On the 7th day, they got up at daybreak and marched around the city 7 times in the same manner, except that on that day they circled the city 7 times. The 7th time around, when the priests sounded the trumpets blast, Joshua commanded the army, 'Shout, for the Lord has given you the city.'" In this story, we see that the walls of Jericho collapsed precisely when God ordained, on the 7th day after the Israelites have circled the city 7 times. This reminds us that God's timing may not align with our own, but His timing is always perfect. We must patiently trust in His timing and wait for His deliverance. The 6th lesson is about God's power overcoming any obstacle. In Joshua chapter 6 verse 20, it reads, "When the trumpet sounded, the army shouted, and at the sound of the trumpet, when the men gave a loud shout, the wall collapsed. So everyone charged straight in and they took the city." God is all-powerful and intervenes in human affairs to accomplish His will and demonstrate His power. The miraculous fall of the Wall of Jericho demonstrates God's power to overcome any obstacles. Despite the formidable defense of Jericho, God's intervention makes the impossible possible. This teaches us that no obstacle is too great for God to overcome. When we face challenges in our lives, we can trust in God's power to bring about victory. The seventh lesson is the power of unity. In Joshua chapter 6 verse 20, it reads, "When the trumpet sounded, the army shouted, and at the sound of the trumpet, when the men gave a loud shout, the wall collapsed. So everyone charged straight in and they took the city." We see that unity among believers and coordinated action under God's direction can overcome seemingly impossible challenges. These lessons from Joshua and the Wall of Jericho remind us of the importance of trusting in God, obeying His commands, waiting for His timing, acknowledging His power, and demonstrating faith through action in our own lives. Let these lessons inspire you to conquer your Jericho. No obstacle is too great when you trust in the Almighty. Stay tuned for more biblical insights and miracles. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel for uplifting content that strengthens your faith.